I'll come back. 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 I'll come back.
This
Are
is
you
not
ma-
what
I
we're doing.
kind of want to be a fly on the wall for when
Are
that
you-
happens.
Are you making your own Cheez-Its from scratch?
I could. I know how.
It's not that bad. It's just kind of the folding part that's like the lamination of the cracker.
And here are the
There was a-
laminations of the crackers.
There
Just
was
checking
a
to see, like, just to make sure, like, that this
what
is something
test
that's
kitchen?
happening.
There was a YouTube channel that Pencil and I watched a long time. It was a test
Uh,
kitchen that they tried to remake Cheez-Its. And
Oh,
it was
that
like
would
the hardest one they did.
Also,
that gourmet
isn't it
mix.
time? Milk, did you press
Oh,
play?
it's time. We're just having panic attacks and whatnot.
I mean,
Oh,
we were talking about
God.
Cheez-Its. I understand.
yeah, I can't deal with this. This is the most horrifying thing that has ever existed.
You've got to have it. You've got to eat it.
do.
Okay.
Why do you keep adding these pictures?
He does.
I'm
Okay,
browsing
Milk
our
makes
stupid food, and I'm just going through stuff, and a lot of these
Milk
entertain
makes
me.
food gore to upset us. It's what he does. Please know this.
I'm just gonna back out of this. I'm gonna go back to questions to stream. I'm gonna go there.
I
There we
mean,
go.
I could deal with the ramen martini. It just really depends on what's under the noodles.
You joke, but I would play that fucking French
I
guitar.
right?
Okay.
Look at this
Let's
thing.
let's do cast things like responsible human beings.
But I like
5,
stupid
4,
food.
3, 2, cut. I don't know why I keep doing that. I never cut the videos. Hello and welcome to the Barcast. The bar gets lower every single week. Your bartenders for this evening are non-pencil.
I hate everything.
The other person we hate is Enigmatic Otaku.
Why have food gore when you could have food vor?
We missed you, Enigma. It's happy to have you back.
Oh.
Milk.
I'm here doing a thing.
Milk's always here. It's not special. And Ravage.
Wow, thank you.
I want a Fry's guitar.
And no fries to me. I'm Flutter Priest and on a diet. Anyway, this week we have a very special guest. You may know them as a honorary mention, almost winner of the of several Barcast writing contests, but he's become very prolific on fanfiction for various other stories, such as the Villain Quadrilogy and even Clop stories. We have Jade Ring.
Pleasure to be here. I love it. You say honorary almost win. There's easier way. It's loser. Just say loser. It's so much faster.
Aw, you're not a loser today. For those who are tuning in for the very first time, hello and welcome. We have archived previous episodes on places like Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, podcasts, and other places where you can get podcast-related material. You can check out there for previous episodes such as Andrea Libman, Dusty Cat, and many, many more. We're streaming live on Twitch right now, and you can catch the replays on youtube.com. And we're watching the chat while we're here on Twitch. The lovely non-Pencil is watching the chat and keeping me in line. Pencil, what questions do we not ask our guests?
We don't ask about the cheese at Taco Bell menu. We do not ask about where it is
Not ever.
or how
Not
to
ever.
get it.
We haven't asked about that. We haven't asked about that ever since the incident.
Genuinely
How
though,
many
you guys,
Cheez-Its do you eat in a day?
at this point, you should know what not to ask. Yes, it's okay to ask that question. Our guest has said that they're comfortable with the weird, lewd stuff. We ask that you don't ask about where our person lives, nothing so personal that you can dox them, and we won't answer you anyway, and I will absolutely drop the ban hammer.
Yes.
So,
Speaking of hammers, the one thing that we don't hammer is horses. Halfway through the cast, we'll have a discussion about how profits and proceeds go to. Did I interrupt you?
No, what the fuck? What the shit? What the fuck?
We don't hammer horses. We'll talk about that more later on in the episode. Also, we have drinking words. The drinking words today are asterisk, which hopefully is not my asterisk, and
Oh my god.
daddy. If you hear those words, take a nice, healthy, responsible drink. Please drink responsibly. We don't want someone going to the hospital. again. And I just
Ah.
vomited a little in my mouth. I saw what you were gagging at, Pencil. Okay. Anyway,
I thought we were gonna beat that dead horse anyways.
Hey,
but not with a hammer.
fuck everything.
So, let's get to some questions. We have some standard questions that we get started with every single episode. Jade, let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. Who are you, and what have you done for the fandom?
Well, I am Jade Ring. I have been a part of the fandom since almost the very beginning, back in the halcyon year of 2011. I've been writing horse words since early 2012. And I would like to think that I have helped to elevate certain people and other authors. My goal has always been to find and foster new talent uh, and guide them towards being better, and also in the same time improve myself. So,
Well,
my
I'm
gosh.
sure some of your I'm sure your clop elevated certain parts of people.
Jesus Christ, I hope not.
I love.
I write erotica not to arouse the body, but to arouse the mind,
But also maybe the body? A little
To
bit?
arouse the soul.
arouse the soul.
hand holding. But such a selfless answer is something that it warms my heart to hear. I remember a point in time where it was like, oh, I'm gonna take people under my wing and make them so nice, and now I'm a jaded asshole and don't talk to anyone.
It's true.
It's literally in my name. Just one day I'll reach the point. I'll just add a D at the end of Jade. I'll be Jaded Ring.
Jaded ring. There we go.
That'll be my final form.
Speaking of final form, how did you get into MLP?
Oh God. Okay, so this is going to show my age again. But I grew up, or came of age rather, in the age of a series of videos called AMV Hell.
Oh my
And
god.
I watched them yesterday. I literally was talking about them yesterday and watching them. Please continue.
But the AMV Hell forums I used to frequent. I just lurked. I didn't post. And one day there was a thread on there. Just it was all in caps, ponies, and I was like, that's weird. So I clicked in, and it was like, again, this is the early days of the fandom. It's like right in the middle of season 1, and there's all the memes popping up and everything. I thought the memes were funny, and I was like, I've always liked cartoons. I'm a big fan of Western animation if it's done right. So I decided to give the show a try, and that was a tremendous mistake.
Mm-hmm. It's the gateway drug.
Here I am. But the as far as fan fiction goes, I've been writing fan fiction since high school, and I kind of called it quits after God. I think I published my last story in 2009, and I threw my hands up, decided to be done with it, and then yeah, I'll never forget. This is all my wife's fault because we had just gotten married, and I saw the memes, and I started watching the show, and I told her, I was like, I'm going to start watching this show. You're going to start hearing about a whole lot of people my age and in my gender bracket watching this show, and you're going to think it's weird. But I want you to know, if I ever get to the point that I start writing fan fiction again about this, pull me out. And she didn't, and here I am.
Well, okay, so you've had experience writing fan fiction for other sites and stuff, so now I gotta drill you. So, given that you've written fan fiction for multiple places, how do you feel like the engagement on the previous fan fiction that you've written compares against the fan fiction you write now? And do you attribute that to like a skill increase, or do you attribute it to the platform?
It's very much a skill increase and a platform. It's both of those. Uh, because I've literally been writing fanfics since I was 12 or 13 years old. And I thank God every day that most of those fics no longer exist because they were posted on message boards and stuff. Uh, but before I came to FemFiction, I was on fanfiction.net, and the level of engagement from the community is people's like, if there's one person enjoying your story, even that's enough to give you the motivation to continue and to improve yourself.
So I'm kind of curious. You said those stories that you're glad are gone. What fan fiction were they of?
My very first piece of published fan fiction was Freddy vs. Jason Round 2. It was published on the now defunct Shivers of Horror forums.
Pretty edgy, my guy.
And it was not good. I look back on it now. But then my magnum opus for a time was I was big into Teen Titans. Teen Titans was the big thing for my circle of friends in high school.
Oh, yeah.
And I, in the midst of season 4, there was a big hiatus in the middle of the season, and so I took it upon myself to write my own way of how season 4 would end, called The End, which of course was the season 4 finale. And lost train of thought. Come back.
Teen Titans,
I wrote the end.
Season 4, the end. Yeah.
Yeah. I hand wrote the thing, and then I published it on the also now defunct Robin and Starfire Shrine. And that one was also not good, but I still have the handwritten copy, and I look at it from time to time to remind myself of how far I've come.
No, that's totally fair. Totally
Yeah.
fair. We got one of our first questions in from the chat. I'll relay to you. Thank you, Pencil. Alex _ asks, how big is your jade ring?
Jade ring is your penis. That's the implication. If you didn't figure that out.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really go in a circle, and also if it was jade in color, I would need to go to the doctor.
Yes.
It's 7.
7. Perfect.
7. Yes.
7 ring. Got it.
7 ring.
When you said you had to go to the doctor if it was jade, it made me think, oh, like a doctor checks out your green dick, and they pull out like a color palette thing. Nope, it's lime green, not jade, not yet,
Yeah,
not hospital
not yet.
worthy.
Not yet. Come back when it's jade.
It's not ripe yet.
Think of banana. Jesus Christ.
Next question. What is your favorite part of the fandom? The online community, fanfics, cons, music. What, in short, keeps you here?
Oh, fanfics. That's 100%. I enjoy. I never really got into the music so much. There's a lot of people making videos that I enjoy. But fanfics is the main thing. It's just because I love the art form as a whole, and there's such a variety of different stories that have been told by so many different people that it's never ending, and that's the whole reason I'm still around.
So, in regard to the fanfics, are there any particular creators that you tend to hound? Is there a type of fic that you just kind of have become the granddaddy of? Like, what within that fanfiction sphere do you feel like is uniquely yours?
Well, RubyCast has been a follower of mine for years, since the very beginning. She was one of my first followers, and she's been dabbling in writing on and off. And so every time she posts something, I like to go in there and try and help her out a little bit, give her some advice. As far as can y'all still hear me?
I hear
Yep,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Oh, okay. No, I'm on my friend's computer, and it just went to a lock screen, and so no. But as far as specific authors I hound, I was a big fan of Mr. Unsmiley before he up and bounced. There's one. God, I can't. I've got my phone right now. I'm trying to pull it up. He just started, and he's absolutely incredible. Doggone it. But I'll pull that up while we continue, and I'll in the middle of conversation I'll pop up with his name.
That's absolutely fair. We're used to that. So then, any other parting thoughts on that before we move to the next question?
No, I think it's yeah.
All right. If there's anything you could say to your followers or fans that have been there since day one, what would it be?
I'm so sorry.
You're the right kind of person, Jimmy.
And let me elaborate on that, because I know that in the beginning I was very vocal, that I would not write Clop, that I sat on the high horse, despite the fact that in the early days of my fanfic writing career, like most of us, I did write erotic fan fiction, and I wanted to be on that high horse, and I fell off. I fell off because I'm good at it and I enjoy it. I enjoy writing it. But I'm also sorry because a lot of my followers from the beginning followed me for this continuity that most of my uh, early stories tied in together to, and I always promised them I would finish it. Last year I threw in the towel and said it's not going to happen. So, but besides, I'm sorry. I do want to say that I love all my followers, every person who has ever given one of my stories the time of day, uh, who has ever clicked on it and given it a cursory look, and especially to those who have given me a comment. You're the best thing in the whole goddamn world, and I love you.
Aw, you're so nice.
Wholesome.
I am wholesome. That's a main criticism of my clop is that all I write is wholesome clop.
Hey, you know what? I do exactly the opposite. I write depressing and disturbing and nothing else. So you're balancing me out, buddy.
Jimmy Slimmy is the author. Yeah, Jimmy Slimmy started 2 years ago, and he is out of this world. Big fan of Jimmy Slimmy. He's phenomenal. His style of writing is just what I aspire to.
Hell yeah, that's a great kind of getting someone out on a platform there.
Oh yeah, and Jimmy, if you're listening to this, I need the next chapter of Rarity Contessa di Mariano.
Come on, Jimmy, get on it.
Yeah, Jimmy.
It's been
Jade
2
has
months.
spoken. Do you have any idea how many followers this guy has? It's just
Jimmy?
a matter of time. No, you.
Oh.
Anyway, let's keep moseying on along. So the next question is a little more philosophical.
Good.
The show as we kind of know it, Generation 4 of MLPs, is over. Where do we as a community go from here to stay relevant and strong and together?
Well, I made a post the day the show ended, where I was, and it was a sentiment shared by a lot of authors, was that it's our responsibility to keep the world going and keep the globe turning and telling the stories. Because just because the show ended doesn't mean that these characters aren't going away. These characters have become part of our collective consciousness, and so it's our responsibility to keep them talking, keep them walking, and keep them telling their stories. Uh, so that's the main thing there. We just have to keep as long as we keep at it, then everything we worked for the past decade won't go away.
I like it. I mean, it's well said. The last one's a little more polarizing, and I hope you're ready. Most importantly, who is best pony?
You know, that has gone through so many different iterations over the past 10 years. But I
There can
still
only be one.
I still got to give it to Rarity. I still got to give it to Rarity in that character is a miracle. Is in any other show, that character would be a one note, one joke character. But through stellar writing and amazing voice acting and such an open book that we can tell stories with her, Rarity is absolutely best.
Go for it, Enigma.
I remember a time when I first started watching the show. I hated Rarity, but then she grew on me.
Like a boil. Anyway.
Rah isn't complete garbage, I guess.
No, Rah is Rah is that is coloratura.
Stop.
Now she's Rarity's the best single, but I'm always ride or die for the CMC.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. All right.
I mean, we can meet in the middle and just say she's the best town bike.
Why are we still bringing that up after the last 5 years? My God.
Because it's still funny.
It's not still funny.
It's been
It's
5
hilarious.
years, Bruce. You still owe me $5.
Well, RK Striker JK5 is up next. While we still have you, Enigma, would you like to ask these ones?
I don't have the thing open right now. I was kind of banking on you to do the work.
Well, that sounds about right. I'll do it. Okay. Number 1. What's your favorite non-MLP franchise?
That's tough. It's gonna have to be Stephen King's Dark Tower cycle.
A very popular one indeed.
It needs to be more popular.
What did you think of the movie?
I hated it. Well, I mean, let me be even more frank than that. I was so incredibly psyched for that movie. I defended and promoted that movie up and down. I shed tears the first time I saw the trailer. I saw the movie on my birthday, convinced myself that it was good, and then went to Disney World with my wife that night. The next day, I'm the biggest asshole on God's green earth, and she finally asked me what's wrong, and I had a full-on breakdown in the happiest place on earth about how much I hated that fucking movie.
From what I understand, the die-hard fans of the Tower just absolutely loathe that movie.
Yes.
But enough about M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar.
Yes.
That's a great comparison, honestly.
There is no Last Airbender movie in Ba Sing Se.
Agreed.
All right, next question. Have you done any fan-related content for non-MLP franchises?
Yeah, like I said, I wrote a lot of Teen Titans fan fiction. The End was published on the Robin and Starfire Shrine. That's gone now, and I did check because I wanted to see if how that was doing, and then the forum's gone. But my last piece of Teen Titans fan fiction is still online. It's still on fanfiction.net under a different username, and I'm gonna leave it out there in hopes that one day it's like start a scavenger hunt and find it.
You know what might be interesting is if you can go back with like the Wayback Machine and see if you can like re-find all that old stuff. Like
that's not a bad idea, huh?
Well, now you know what you're doing tonight.
What have you done? Like I'm supposed to be finishing up my my Summer Sin story exchange story. It's now you're gonna have me send on another side quest here.
I think Shakes would actively like harass me if I ever tried to get someone to not do the beloved Summer Sin celebration that
I should have had my entry done weeks ago, and I'm ashamed that I haven't. But man, Lawmare came out of nowhere, and it was like, write me, and I was like, okay, fine.
Hey, as someone who did Jingle Moss for the longest time, I get it. I absolutely get it. Also, you're the reason.
What?
Number 3.
What's
a bad joke about like
you're the inspiration.
All right, number 3. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen Scootaloo fired from a trebuchet?
European or Canadian?
Well, I don't know that.
Well, the difference is she says sorry after hitting the ground.
Oh my gosh. That's awful. All right. Shakespeare Cleese is up next.
There we go.
First question is, what is the best part of waking up?
The best part of waking up is incest in your cup.
That's fair.
And Shakespeare Cleese raises his head wherever he is and says, "My people are calling me."
It's absolutely true. If he wasn't probably incredibly preoccupied with
Summer Sin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, milk. I 100% would eat that. That is.
I would also.
That's food porn, not food gore.
I'd also eat that. Yeah.
Show it. Show it on screen.
Some of the stuff I post is okay. Some of it's not. I thought maybe the KFC chicken on a stick would be a thing.
What about pizza on a stick? Is that doable?
I suppose
that's called Midwest County Fairs, and that's a real thing. Anyway,
deep fried pizza on a stick.
Yes.
Deep fried butter is something they also do, and deep fried Coke, as in Coca-Cola.
Yep. Deep fried Twinkies.
I'm actually workshopping I call it the Spuddy Buddy, and it's essentially a hollowed out baked potato filled with goodies, dipped in batter and deep fried.
Where have I heard?
No,
Spuddy
a deep
Buddy
fried baked
before?
potato. Yeah, they do this.
No, they don't. I'm trademarking the idea. Don't.
They're actually really good. They're actually hella good.
Oh no!
I put so much work into this.
All right.
I mean, what are you gonna
When-
put in it? Maybe if you put like weird shit in it, it'll
Oh, there's
be
all
different.
sorts. There's different varieties. You've got the standard Spuddy Buddy. You've got the Bushido Buddy, which is the Japanese variation. The Bonjour Buddy, which is French. The Baseball Buddy, which is chili dogs.
I don't think there's a chili dog version. I think you could just make that happen.
Just stick some beans in it so you can call it the Bean Buddy.
Chili dogs.
Venus. Now we have Venus potatoes.
The next question from Shakes is: when do you prefer to write if choosing between night and day?
I write at night, specifically because it takes. I have 2 kids, and so it takes an act of God to get any time during the day to write during the day.
I think that's absolutely fair. Usually my muse strikes me when it's like 3 a.m. and I can't sleep. I'm like, oh, I should write this. I could totally write this right now, and then I fall asleep.
So what
Yeah.
I'm hearing is that pencil strikes you at 3 a.m.
What?
Yes.
What? Why am I? What am I? Why?
I said my muse strikes me at 3 a.m. when I can't sleep, and so he took that to mean you.
Oh, I'm like, I thought you meant our guest. That's why I was like, I'm not hitting our guests usually.
Oh no! Hitting people! Oh, panic! Hitting priest! Oh, never mind.
Well, yeah, he's different.
I like being hit. Number 3.
Anyway.
Hey, whatever floats your boat, you know.
When buying a new iPhone over an Android strictly for porn viewing, just how shameless is the Apple?
I want to give Shakes so much kudos because I knew what he was doing with these questions, and that one is such a reach.
Oh, it's a stretch.
It's such a stretch.
It's as much of a stretch as Applejack over that fence.
And in lieu of answering that question, because I really don't have an answer because I'm an Android guy.
Good man. Apple's
all-
trash.
All of Shakespeare's questions are references to my previous entries into the last 3 incest contests. Incest is wincest contests. None of which won, by the way. All losers, just like my summer and Halloween and April contest stories.
Dude, you did so well. What the fucking shit are you talking about?
The contest that convinced
You
me to
did
stop
so
writing horror.
well! You did
I-
so well.
I formally retired from horror because I lost the
somebody
contest.
actually blamed me for that shit. I'm not fucking joking.
Really?
Some tryhard messaged me saying I was mean to you and that's why you quit writing and they were mad at me, and I'm not fucking kidding.
Oh my god.
That's awful. If any of my followers are listening to this, don't do that. That's not nice. I'm still writing some horror, just not as frequently. I've got something special coming for Halloween this year.
Good.
And-
I was horrified when you're like, I'm not gonna write horror anymore. I was like, oh no, because yours were good.
And then, and solely because Scribbler did a reading of my second Grogar story, I've decided, fuck it, I'm gonna write the 3rd one. So that's coming.
Scribbler's a gem.
She is. There's a lot of people that have done readings of my stories, and her and the Life on Cloud 9 are just. They bring my stories to life in a way that few others can.
I think that's fair. That's fair. Very high quality audio production. All right. Next. Where did my thread go?
I don't know the answer to that question. I'm gonna have to pass.
Oh no.
Pass on that
No.
question.
No, this is the part of the children's show where the audience has to yell at priest where it is.
Hey priest, your
I got
thread is okay.
These questions have a theme. Your objectively best writing. More when.
Are these 2 questions or this?
That is Shake's last question.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the? My brain shorted out there. What was?
Incest. He
Steve's
wants to know
question.
when you will write more incest.
The incest train has derailed. It is not coming back. And
He's just saying these are your best stories and he wants more. So
he really needs to read The Wicker Mare then, because there are incestual allusions in The Wicker Mare, and I do consider that to be my best story. And it needs more love, because I think right now it's sitting at 300 views, and it's the best thing I've ever written. So incest isn't really my bailiwick. It's not really my thing, and I wrote those stories just because to see if I could, and because at the time I was addicted to contests after my victory in the dirty little contest a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
I was chasing that high, and I figured it's like I can do this, I can write this, and 3 losses, and then this past contest I needed an entry. I took a story that I've been working on for a long time called The Guilty Ones. I replaced 2 of the main characters with Applejack and Big Mac, and threw it out there just to have an entry, and I just hated it. I hated it. I felt like a whore, and so that's to date the only one of my stories I've ever deleted. So barring some massive creative lightning bolt, I'm officially off the incest bandwagon. But I'll stay in the Discord, because there's some good quality shit posting happening there. So
I think that's fair. Honestly, one of the things looking through your library that personally appeals to me, and it's one of the things that I liked to really focus in with my work, not to compare you to me or anything, but 100% that's exactly what I'm doing, is it seems like you never particularly aim to just do one thing well. Like you aim to do so much and try to do a lot of things well, as opposed to like pigeon yourself into just one thing, you know?
yeah, I appreciate I there are authors who unfortunately do pigeonhole themselves, like you said, and for a while it looked like I was going to be that like with the Deer trilogy, the Deer CMC trilogy, I was going to be that schmaltzy, make you cry author. Uh, but I do try to, whatever story takes my fancies, I'll write it. If I get a genuine idea, I'll write it, and hopefully people will read it. And that's what happened with Lawmare, the story that I just put up a few days ago. I just had an idea. It's like, wow, I'm gonna cross over. I'm gonna take some general ideas from the Dark Tower cycle and put them in an alternate Equestria. Maybe people will like it. I don't know. I'll just do the first chapter, and boom, people started reading it. So, like, all right, I'll tell the story then.
I mean, what else could you really want?
I mean, it's right there at the top of my author page. You know, the purpose of a story is that it's a story. It can be more, but it can never be less.
Yes.
So long as you set out to tell the story, and that's what you were trying to do, then you succeeded.
All right.
Read The Wicker Mare.
I know I've got it on my list. I think it's going to be. I think I stories that resonate with an author is like this is the thing that I'm most proud of is typically what I'm more excited to read than something that got the most views from a reader standpoint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, Mugany's up next. So, what is your most disappointing damn this makes me horny moment?
Oh Christ.
There's none of that here.
No. Okay. There is, like I said, incest isn't really my bailiwick. It's not my thing.
Yes.
But I have read stories where that is a plot element, that it works like gangbusters.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one story in particular, the marriage of Princess Cadence to the House Sparkle, and it's a very long, very sprawling story. And there's one line in one chapter of this story that the first time I read it, I was just like on fire. And so yeah, that's probably because I was like, oh no, this was hot. What does it say about me?
Hey, if there's one thing to take from the show, it's that Princess Celestia believes there's no wrong way to fantasize.
Is though. Look at some of these Summer Sin stories popping up now, and it's like I was like, so no.
That's fair. That's fair. Pencil, would you like to take anonymous potatoes questions?
I mean, if you really want me to.
Nope, I can do them anyway. I'm just trying to give
I-
everyone an opportunity.
I have, but priest, I have my questions. That's why I ask.
I can
that's
do it
fair.
now. I have the thread now, so
Oh,
Enigma's
Enigma, it's all you.
volunteering.
It's all you, Enigma.
it's all me. And Milk posted a picture of my sunburned balls.
Those are strawberries.
I'm so grateful that I'm looking at a computer lock screen and I can't see any of this stuff.
If it helps, they're literally just a pair of strawberries. I promise you. It's just two fruits that are strawberries next to each other. That's all.
We're not talking about milk and snoo.
All right, so question from Anonymous Potato. Number 1. Which story are you the most proud of?
Oh, The Wicker Man, hands down. The Wicker Man, the 1973 original film, was one of my favorite movies of all time. And I had a discussion with someone at DerpyCon South 2014, and it was like, "Why don't you cross those over?" And I did, and I consider it to be the best thing I've ever written.
Do you have a
Are you
scene
saying-
where
Go for it.
do you have a scene where a pony in a bear suit runs up and punches a nun in the face?
No, fuck that movie. Fuck the 2006 Wicker Man so hard because you can't talk about the Wicker Man anymore without people bringing up that fucking movie.
What's wrong with the movie?
It's
bad.
It's bad.
It's bad,
Especially,
dude.
it's like the 1973 Wicker Man is considered by many to be one of the greatest horror movies of all time, and you can't talk about it anymore because everyone just thinks of Nick Cage in a bear suit
And the bees.
and the bees. Full disclosure. There was going to be a scene in an early draft of The Wicker Man wherein Twilight wakes up and she and Shining Armor are flying to Ponyville in a hot air balloon, and she has a nightmare and he wakes her up and she's screaming, "Oh, not the bees, not the bees!" And he's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Oh, I had a bunch of my tests and they had bees on them, and I deleted it because it was trash."
Number 2. If you got
All right.
turned into an MLP character, which one would you be?
Man, I've never actually thought about that before.
I mean, this implies that like you would have a choice.
Yeah. Is this like a banned from Equestria Daily situation? Like what?
Gun to your head. You need to be one right now.
Shining Armor.
So you're married to an okay princess. You have a kid. You run basically, I don't know, Iceland. It's all ice everywhere.
Yeah. Hot wife set for life. Dad to a really great little kid. Yeah. Shining Armor. I'm down with that.
Hot wife, separate life is my dad's motto.
Enigma, that was depressing.
Number 3.
Also, because we haven't had a proper drinking word, what's another word for dad?
Daddy.
Father.
There you go.
That guy.
Got my asterisk.
Number 3. Tell us your funniest MLP related anecdote.
Oh man. Okay. My friends are in the next room, so I don't know how much they're listening, but they'll probably get a kick out of this. I promised I would tell this story when I was here. This seems as good a place as any. My friend, my friends and family all know that I write for the fandom. They don't specifically. Most of them specifically don't know what I write. But a few years back, there was a brief fad someone put up a story called Twilight Masturbates that was exactly 1,000 words long.
Oh my
And
god.
it inspired this rash of copycats and everything. Everybody's doing like insert character here masturbates, and every story was 1,000 words long. And so I thought it was the dumbest trend ever. It's like I'm going to take the most nonsense character and do this. I'm going to put an end to this meme right here and now. And so I wrote Tom masturbates.
Yes.
I remember this. Yes.
And there came a time when it came out to my friends that I was writing erotica and clop and what have you. And so they were like, "Well, can we see some of it?" And I was like, I won't show you any the stuff that y'all think all weird for. But here's this rock masturbating story, and and so to this day, I can't talk about developments in the world of fan fiction without inevitably one of my friends bringing up is like, "Hey, like the masturbating rock story."
That's amazing. That's good friends right there for you.
That story turned out way better than it had any right to be. I gotta say.
I can easily imagine this being pencil scenario. It's like where her friends are going. Oh, so the dick snail story.
I mean, you guys do that to me.
Oh wait, no, it's not dick snails. It's the grilled
Grilled
cheese.
No,
cheese.
yeah, you guys do it with the grilled cheese story with the gynecologist. I can just hear our guests trying to take in what was just said and piece it together in their head, and there's no good explanation, my friend. There's none.
Number 4. Number 4. If there was one person you would like to meet, who would it be and why?
Oh God, Steven Spielberg. Spielberg. I'm a big movie guy, and Steven Spielberg is, push comes to shove, in my opinion, the greatest director of all time. And I would love to sit and chat with him about certain aspects of his movies, and really just to thank him for inspiring little 4-year-old Jade Ring to tell stories whenever he first saw Jurassic Park.
And right before you two separate, he's gonna say, "I'll never be apart from you, cause I'll always be in here." And he points his finger at your chest, and his finger starts glowing.
And then he makes his dramatic exit because this conversation is happening on the Hollywood backlot tour at Universal Studios, and he makes his exit by jumping into the mouth of the Jaws robot.
Yes.
I too have had this exact fantasy.
All right. The next ones are from Rav.
Yeah, Rav, you're up next.
Yay! Rav, you get to ask your questions.
Oh, and I was gonna make Priest do it.
I think Priest needs a break, so let his voice
I know.
rest so he has dulcet tones.
Yes, he will serenade us with his dulcet tones. Probably doing the voice of Lilar. All right.
Wow.
First question. First question. What's a question you wish people would ask you?
Oh geez. I don't know. We're only 40 minutes into this. Like, there's still questions to come. I don't know.
I like to think it's like that Applejack image. Is like people always say howdy whenever they see me, but they never say how are y'all.
No, I can't think of any specific question. I'd like to.
That's all right. I like to throw people for a loop with that one.
No, it's all good.
All right. If you were the protag of a displaced fic, what would it be about, and who would you be unlucky enough to be?
Oh Jesus, this is a terrible question to ask me because there are certain genres and types of stories in the fandom that I just don't get, and displaced stories are one of them.
If
Right up-
this, if
right
this
up-
is a
right-
bad question, you're gonna have a bad time for the next hour and a half.
What do you
No,
mean you don't? What do you mean you don't want to show up in Equestria as Caillou?
I don't get. It's like right up there with like maid stories. I don't get it. I don't. It doesn't click with me. So I
Like
don't.
maid stories, as in like
Yeah, like
French
maid
maid?
fetish. Yeah, maid fetish stories.
Who
I don't
doesn't
get
Oh,
it.
want
I
someone?
completely get that.
Who doesn't want
I,
somebody wearing something adorable while cleaning their home for them and giggling? Like what is about that is unappealing in any
I
capacity?
I do see the appeal, but I know that I tried to write one for a contest earlier this year, and I just could not do it. I couldn't because I couldn't put the appeal into words. So the displaced thing, I'm sorry, but I really don't have an answer for.
No, you got to think of this. Who would you be forced to be in Equestria? You
Like
got to put
who?
thought.
Okay, so so it's usually a wish fulfillment thing with these stories, right? It's almost always a wish fulfillment, but around here we think displaced is the most horrible type of story. On top of that, you do too, so that makes it even better. Who would you absolutely hate to be? Like, absolutely fucking hate to be, fictional character usually, in the middle of a story, kind of a story you do not like.
Damn. Like any fictional character, or are we talking like specific?
Any fictional character.
The
Any
two,
fictional character that you would hate to be.
from the discussion we had earlier, I think you'd hate to show up there as 2006 Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a story. That is a story.
Two- two- 2006 Nicolas Cage Wicker Man showing
Shows
up.
up in Equestria, punches one of the
Shows,
bears. Fluttershy cries.
no, it's literally just the Wicker Man, except it's replaced instead of Twilight as Officer Howie. It's 2006 Nicolas Cage.
Just do a bad comedy version of the Wicker Mare,
uh,
and just call it Wicker Mare 2: The Wickering. It'll be great.
the Wickering, the Great Wickering Stallions.
This is a stupid idea, and you should do it.
Anon, what have you done?
I know you don't even know.
Oh, shit. Alright. So, on to a more fun topic. If you or your SO could be any size at all, such as a Lady Demi Dami Mommy or a Renamon esque kaiju, what would your dynamic look like?
I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool if my wife was taller than me. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. It's just because I've always been the tallest guy in every relationship that I was in. So that to
How
have
tall are
the
you?
opposite side, huh?
Like how tall exactly are we talking?
I'm 5'11".
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Fellow 5'11er, I feel it.
yeah. So yeah, it's
I am the shortest one on the Barcast. I am 5'1 3/4.
yeah. I think
Unfortunately, I'm average.
yeah, that'd be pretty. That'd be pretty cool.
Alright. Have you ever released a foot fetish or porn video, and where can your fans find it?
Uh, I I think feet are the most disgusting part of the human body. Yeah.
That's the
Uh,
answer I was looking for.
That's legit. Every year for Summer Sent, like it's like on the bullet points of what won't you write? Number one, feet. uh,
What about hooves? Would you write about hooves?
no, absolutely not. It's like number. It's like, even before Fulcon is feet and hooves. Like I like. Uh, no, there is no pornographic video of me out there.
Hmm.
Sorry. Say sorry.
Alright. Do you read or write snuffles, or it's what I call gore clop for cute ponies?
No, no, it's also not my thing.
Hmm.
I have I do admire cupcakes for what it represents and what it is, and I do still consider to be why do they call it a hacksaw? One of the greatest lines ever written for any story in any form of fan fiction. But
Hmm.
it's yeah, gore fics aren't really my thing.
Okay. Who is your favorite MILF?
That's tough.
Rav, do you mean in My Little Pony or in
Oh yeah,
general?
like are we talking like just My Little Pony, or are we talking like everywhere? Because
Um,
because Lorraine Baines McFly can get it to this day.
uh, I mean, it's not specific, so it's just who is the best MILF in your opinion.
I had a tremendous crush on teenage Lorraine in Back to the Future growing up.
She gets it
Hmm.
in every timeline.
Yes,
I don't doubt that.
yeah, yeah. So
Alright.
that I give that one. If we're talking MLP, it's a tie between Cadence and Creamheart.
There's not a-
Yeah!
Yeah, I was gonna say
This
there's
man
not,
has taste!
Jesus Christ.
there's not a whole lot of
God.
MILF options in
Here we
MLP.
go.
There's
But
like
I'll
what?
say, I'm also a fan of Cupcake.
Mrs.
So,
Cakes?
yep.
I mean, Mrs. Cakes is pretty chill. Like, she got
She-
damn
she-
childbearing hips, and she
she's
has the
got
children to prove it.
yeah, she's got cakes.
I've literally been working on a swap fic. It's her and Mr. Cake with Cadence and Shining Armor, and I've been working on it for 3 years now, and I
Yeah,
need
I
to
just
finish
scrolled
it.
past that one.
It's like I've got the rest of the story plotted. I just have to find the time to sit down and write the fucking thing.
Everyone forgets about Sunburst's mom.
Stellar Flare?
I don't.
Neither does
Yeah.
Shakes. Yeah,
Oh,
She's
shit.
great.
she doesn't appeal to me. I put her in the same category as Spoiled Rich.
Do
She
not
comes-
want.
Really?
She comes with built-in socks.
Yeah. Again, feet. Nope.
Oh, shit. Alright. Favorite princess from MLP, which I think we already covered.
It was Luna for a long time. But the more I wrote her and the more the show went on, it became Cadence.
Really?
Yes!
Yeah.
I gotta
God
say, man.
damn it.
I gotta say, man, you downgraded there.
Yeah, you kind of did. But no, I'm actually kind of curious. What was the turning point?
That's I don't know. It just kind of happened. Like I was in the big continuity that I wrote for a long time. I had this big triangle relationship happening between Shining Armor, Luna, and Cadence. And as I wrote those relationships progressing, I began to see Cadence's perspective more. And it sounds weird, but I began to sympathize with her more. And that equivocated was like, wow, I really enjoy this character and I love her voice. I don't know.
Britt McKillop does a great job, and it's always writing her. It's writing the character that makes the character so special, and that's the only way I can really describe it.
Yeah,
It sounds to me you only chose Cadence the moment after she popped out a baby.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
You
Well,
just
I'll tell you
want
what,
me
she
to
never
call
got
you
them
daddy.
childbearing hips.
Are you kink shaming our guest?
No, but I actually was back in the early days of the fandom. We were the new Lunar Republic. We had a flag and everything, and I had a
remember it.
I had a T-shirt. I was one of them, but I swapped sides. So
He defected.
mhm.
Oh, shit, I was gonna say something else, and that train completely derailed itself. All right, so moving on. Do you have a favorite object pony? So soda pone, pizza pone, snack pone, thing pone, and so on.
Can't say that I do.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Just that you're not interested in them, or that you haven't been exposed to them.
I don't get it. Too big. That's the thing. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. Since bats are the superior pony, how many anons must we suck dry?
Whoa. Time out. What?
Nope, you
What
heard
was
him.
No, I
You
did
heard
not.
me.
What was the? It kind of ran together at the end there. What was the question?
Since bats are the superior pony, how many anons must we suck dry?
I don't know how to answer that question.
How much suck? Just tell us how much suck you wish to do.
Because I don't like. I guess you can add the bat ponies to the things that I don't get the appeal of more than anything else.
Give us the exact suck PSI pressure.
40 pounds per square inch.
Oh, damn. That dick's gone. Stripped like a banana. All right.
I just imagine the newborn baby from Alien Resurrection just being sucked out that airlock window.
That scene is horrifying. Like, and the thing is, like, I first saw Alien Resurrection on TV, and they cut that out, and so I had no idea it was a thing until I got the Alien Quadrilogy DVD set, and
Wait,
the first time that came on,
if they cut it out, how did they resolve that in the TV version?
they like you see the baby like get sucked towards the window, and then they cut all of the stuff flying out the back of the window, and you just see the baby struggling for like a second, and then it gets sucked out in the skull, and it's like I knew it happened, but they cut the gore out, and so seeing the gore for the first time was a little traumatizing.
Thank you, TV edits, for making everything boring.
Yippee-ki-yay, Uncle Falcon.
Yep. All right. Here's one I think you'll like. Why is Spike the worst and everyone that likes him wrong?
I like Spike.
So you are wrong.
Sorry.
So much.
I asked the Incest is Wincest server about it's like, hey, I'm going to be on the Barcast. Is there anything I should know? And there's someone specifically said something about Spike, and I should have paid attention. But
It's that I hate him.
I like Spike. I mean, he has his cringe moments, to be sure, a lot.
He's a
but
cringe creature made of cringe problems.
He's a fun character, and he's, as far as writing goes, some of my favorite stories involve Spike, both I've written and both I've read.
See, and I'll agree with you on that on the writing end. People tend to write Spike better than whoever ends up writing him in the show.
Yeah.
The only time Spike is a decent character in the show is when he's playing the straight man, not when he's being the idiot.
Yeah,
for lack of a better word that I can't use on Twitch.
DWK put it best in his back in when he was doing those videos, where he was like, the idiot meter is on Twilight in this episode, the idiot meter is on Spike this episode. Yeah. But I like Spike.
No, I can agree with you there. I like some of the stories he's written in. I rarely like him in the show.
And I will forever have a soft spot because Spike and Rarity were the first characters that I ever wrote fan fiction for the series.
So you got that what do you call it? It's a word I want to stick before the word bias, but I can't think of it. Anyways,
nostalgia bias.
Yeah.
I'm just glad the Spike was finally able to tell Rarity the thought to go away, to be gone.
Anon, I know you hate Spike, and this is a little bit of a spoiler for people that didn't read the continuity when it was happening. The continuity was the series of stories that started with the Dear Sweetie Belle trilogy and expanded and became this big thing. Spike did die in the course of those stories, and
but he was in them.
It was and it broke my heart. It wasn't the most heartbreaking death in that story, but I did kill him. So you're welcome.
Was it painful?
He gave his life to save the stallion who was trying to steal Rarity from him. So
0 out of 10.
I mean, that's not what she asked. Did he die painfully?
Yeah, I imagine it hurt for a second. I mean, he took a bolt of magic through the heart.
Shot through the heart.
More than a second. That would hurt way more than a second.
And you're to blame.
You give love a bad name.
I wanna kick Spike out of his brain. Anyway.
All right. So the next question I think you'll actually like. If you could start an interstellar war between any two factions from any universe or universes, who would they be and why?
Oh man, no. Well, first up, 100% is the Klingons. Klingons are my favorite interstellar race in any media ever.
Why, my friends? I understand.
I love the Klingons. Let me establish that pre-Star Trek reboot Klingons.
Yeah.
So you got Klingons
And-
on one side.
We're talking TOS Klingons, are we? Or
Oh, no, we're talking like Steve Braga, Dan O'Bannon era, TNG, DS9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Cool.
Especially DS9. Especially DS9.
Because I'll be honest. TOS Klingons are kind of pussies. I'm sorry.
DS9 is my favorite Star Trek series. So Klingons on one side, and on the other, who could throw down with the Klingons in a satisfactory manner?
Ooh. I just thought of one.
I got one. It's because I was thinking of it's like someone who could go toe to toe with the Klingons. They don't have toes. The Daleks.
Ooh.
Actually, I was gonna pit them with the Krogans.
They would love each other. They would have like hate babies. It would be the best.
Yeah, they would. They really would. See, I was thinking. I was replying to Enigma. I was thinking the other end of that with the fuck if I can remember what they are. The bug
Turians.
people. The bug people from Mass Effect.
Rachni.
No.
that
Whatever
is-
Garrus is.
That they're not bugs.
They're not bugs.
Yes,
They're
they are.
birds.
They are not.
They're birds.
How did you get bugs from Garrus? Like, what are you doing?
They're
you just
avian.
insulted her space, husbando.
I was under the understanding and information that they were based entirely on insects, considering that they have
No.
an exoskeleton.
Not, especially their mating habits. And fuck you for even asking why I know that. Anyway.
They're avians and they're covered in a shell because of the radiation from their planet's sun. I know my Mass
Well, that would
Effect
explain
lore.
a few things.
One of my great regrets is never getting into Mass Effect.
There's still time, my friend. There's still time.
I like Mass Effect. It's one of the few Star Trek-esque series that doesn't bug the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. And they do have problems. Let's be very clear. They all have their problems. I think the second game is amazing, but we're getting way off track. We should get back to questions.
We should. We really should. All right. If dick cheese could be blocked and sliced for sandwiches, how much vaginal marinara would we need to spread on our avocado toast to make a fuck trophy? A flushed consolation prize is acceptable too.
The fuck?
Gotta thank Rob for these.
Um, 3 gallons.
Oh Jesus,
That's a lot.
that's an awful lot.
That's a lot, man.
We're talking every man in America is gonna have to donate to this. All right.
Man, it's vaginal marinara.
No.
Dude,
I said
no.
I said if dick cheese could be blocked and sliced for sandwiches.
How much? And then the rest of the question, Rap said, how much
much?
vaginal marinara would we need to spread? That's literally your question. It's not about the dick cheese. It's about the marinara.
We need a chart.
No, I'd say it's about both.
This is how the English language works.
It's very much about both.
No. If dick cheese could be blocked and sliced for sandwiches. Statement. Question. How much vaginal marinara would we need to spread on our avocado toast to make a fuck trophy? The question is about the vaginal marinara.
I wrote my question wrong.
Yeah.
My question wrong.
You've been writing that question that way for over a year.
Yeah. I always thought it was weird too, but I never called it out on it. But I'm glad you guys did.
You know what would fix that question if you added in a few asterisks?
Yes, I need the booze. Daddy, please give me more asterisks.
It's no,
Daddy,
honey. Rav has us covered with this next question, actually.
Okay.
I do actually.
Go, Daddy.
Daddy, chill.
Number 13. What is a matter daddy?
What's the matter with you?
Golf clap for efforts. Golf clap for efforts.
I genuinely haven't heard that before.
You haven't heard
Never?
that joke before?
Oh my god, you've never. That's been around since I was like a child. It was in The Lion King.
I mean, it's like the variation that I always use is from the South Park movie, which is like, "Don't forget the butt for." What's a butt for? For pooping, silly.
I mean, in The Lion King, it's our motto. What's a motto? Nothing. What's a motto
What's
with
the matter
you?
with you?
Yeah, come on. I can.
I mean, it's just like Updog, but I hadn't heard that variation.
Fuck, it's from The Lion. It goes back to The Lion King and before that.
Alrighty.
To be fair, in The Lion King, there wasn't a daddy for very long.
He lives in you, which
Gross.
Oh,
Gross.
Oh,
Gross.
it-
Gross.
Oh god.
describes half of Shakespeare Ercles' writing library.
There we go.
On a lighter note, you're trapped in a room with 10,000 dicks. How many are you choking on?
Oh, just the one, probably.
I mean,
It's
you're
like,
that good?
no, I'm that bad.
I'm
I'm
just,
assuming. There's never been any practical application, so.
I'm just imagining a scenario where you're in the center of that room and you're surrounded by dick cheese and by the dicks, and someone's closing the door and you're just being crushed by the pressure.
uh, wasn't this the exact scene from China, Illinois? Like, there's, I know no one watched that show but me, but
I've never heard of that.
I like
I've
that show.
literally
Neither
never
have I.
heard of that.
I
I'm
know what
curious,
that show
though.
is.
What's the name of the show?
China,
China,
Illinois.
Illinois.
Nope.
If you've
I
ever
tried.
seen if you've ever seen the Professor Brothers on YouTube or Baby Cakes, that guy, he did a whole series for Adult Swim called China, Illinois, and it's one of my favorite shows ever. Yeah, it's a great show, amazing show.
All right. Then up next is questions from Alex. Actually,
Wait.
I should look at the time. It's
Yeah.
time. It's time to do things. So we're at our halfway point.
Hey.
Hey, Pencil.
Hey, what?
Did you know that we're a legitimate podcast?
Nah, really?
Surprisingly, yes. We have this thing called a Patreon, and you can donate to it, and we just collect all of that money and donate all of it to Red Wings Horse Sanctuary in mid California.
That's pretty fire. Will it buy them drugs and prostitution?
No, in fact, it buys some important things like
Like
teeth
drugs and
cleanings.
prostitution.
No,
Oh.
Blackjack and hookers.
Yay!
We bring those. But we help get their hoofsies trimmed and get baths and see the tooth doctor because they only have one big tooth and you can't prove me otherwise.
Truth doctor, dentist.
And we make no money off it. So if you could do things like donate bits, which you can get for free on Twitch by using the little bit button down in the chat, we donate all that money to Horse Rescue Charity. And last year we were able to donate an amount of money that is not big, but it's still pretty good.
It was pretty big, dude.
How big?
It was like more than $500.
Yay!
Which is
Milk
pretty big.
knows because he's the one that pays all the money. Isn't that right, Milk?
He's too busy masturbating.
That's fair. Well,
Can't even multitask.
it's fair. But speaking of multitask, it's time to go on to our next task because that's the end of the ad bit. That's it. That was the joke.
Ah.
Alex Underscore is up next. Number 1. What are your thoughts on Gen 5, Jade?
I'm intrigued. But I was more intrigued with the movie than I was with that recent special.
I think that's fair. The recent special didn't do anything for me.
I knew that we were going to have a little bit of a downgrade going from the movie to the series, and I was just expecting it to be in the animation, not so much in the writing. But as a whole, I dig the concept. There are enough little tidbits in the background that are enough to get us content creators and story writers keep us going. I I addressed it. I wrote a story a few months back called "The Architects of Fear," which addressed my biggest question and complaint with G5, which is what could have happened that like what does that if the tribes broke apart to the level they are at the start of G5, where are the Wendigos?
I know exactly what the disaster was. It was the invention of the internet.
Oh, stop.
I mean, they do use smartphones and
If
Twitch.
that's the thing. If that's the thing, I've been a firm believer that social media has driven us apart as much as it's brought us together, and so that would actually be a really smart metaphor if they decided to go that route in the show.
But I mean, with that in mind, and you're a Teen Titans fan, so you can kind of tell me off if I'm wrong here. Between it and Pony Life, they kind of Teen Titans goad it. Like we're kind of just not even going in the same direction as the original kind of plot.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between those little shorts that were on YouTube and the new special that went up on Netflix. Because as much of a downgrade as it was between the movie to the series, it's still I could see, like, if I was a kid watching it on Saturday morning on like Kids WB or something like that. So we Teen Titans Go. Jesus Christ, that's a can of worms.
Yeah, and then we got Ponies Go, and then there was G5 Go, and yeah,
I didn't mind Pony Life. I thought Pony Life was cute.
I'm sure it was, but I fucking hate that art style.
Got a couple genuine belly laughs out of me. The bit where Rarity's having her little meltdown and Applejack looks at the camera and is like, "Did you miss this? I missed this."
Yeah, but it's okay. But Go kind of depowered Pinkie Pie, 'cause now everyone can break the fourth wall.
Yeah, it's better than Teen Titans Go. But then, like, my dog getting run over by a car is better than Teen Titans Go.
Thank you.
So.
Appreciate you.
Oh, what the fuck?
I was for real. Like, us
we
Teen
have
Titans
nothing
fans,
nice to say.
we have written petitions. We have fought hard for a proper sixth season of our show.
Yes.
And what did they give us? That.
Yes.
And then they put
No,
they
and
teased
then,
it.
and then they made a special crossover episode, which was bullshit. Sorry, I do have strong feelings about this.
And it wouldn't be so bad. It wouldn't be so bad if they wouldn't just stop shitting on us for enjoying the original show.
Yes.
Like that's.
I do love the one part of an episode where they shit on themselves, being like, "Why? They're so cool. They have meaning and plot and darkness. This is us. Why are they cool?" I'm like, at least you fucking know.
It's like if you, I know you don't like Pony Life and everything, and it's like that G5 art style, and it's like as long as G5 at no point mocks the people that enjoy G4, I think we'll be okay.
Do you guys?
I can agree with that.
I don't think they can help themselves. I just give it time.
Do you guys remember that weird middle point transition between Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go, where there was like a special where they were where it was like they were talking about who the identity of Red X is, and the animation like wasn't quite Go yet?
No, I don't remember that at all.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh no, yeah, the shorts that were on DC Nation.
Yeah, they were like between.
Yeah, that block was sick, man. That was Young Justice, Green Lantern animated series. Like, God, that block was great.
But no, the specific. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. They had those little animated shorts that aired in between the different specials or the different shows, and that was one of them. That was the start. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, it was. If we only knew what was coming.
I mean, that was 100% done in the like Titans Go style, but with better shading. Let's be fucking honest.
Yeah, it was better shading.
It was just Teen Titans Go with better shading.
Yeah, and better writing.
So, not to take us away from the Teen Titans podcast, but from Alex _, who's the prettiest Gen 5 horse?
I like Pip. I think Pip's got a lot of potential. and she's adorable.
I know that Pencil loves Zip.
Well, I mean, bring me my butch lesbian pony any day of the week, motherfuckers. Like, let's go.
I love
But-
Zip. Zip is good.
I like Izzy.
You would.
Izzy's cute, and I like Sunny a lot, like personality wise. But I don't know. I think back on how Rarity was supposed to be this one note character, and I look at Pip, and I was like, I think they're gonna do it with Pip, like they did with Rarity.
It's just Rarity with a cell phone.
Yeah,
No, it's
so
just
let,
the insta-ho and pony style.
so let's
And
do it again.
OnlyFans.
Let's give that character depth and genuine character growth, and let's rock and roll. And
Like that.
and she's short. She's visibly shorter than every pony else, which is adorable.
If they can do that and they're willing to put in that much effort, I welcome it. But once
Yeah.
again, that's kind of going in with the expectation they're going to treat Gen 5 in the same way that we all treated Gen 4 or they treated Gen 4, and hopefully in some ways I'm sure they don't want to just redo what's already been done before, but we've seen before what happens when My Little Pony just kind of does whatever it wants to in order to make a buck and not really try.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of Pip, do you remember those images of Pip just being a head and legs? Those
Oh,
are great. And she
yeah.
was suspended from the ceiling.
I saw this picture of Pip and Hitch the other day. I've got it saved because I think it's like there's a story there. I just have to find it of her and Hitch wearing Rarity and Spike hoodies. And I was like, okay, there's a story here. I can work with this.
I do ship those two, Hitch and Pip.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, unrelated tangent. I recently wrote a Gen 5 story, and every time I wrote Hitch, I accidentally wrote bitch a couple times. And I had to correct myself.
I mean, you didn't have to.
Why'd you correct yourself? It
See?
hits.
Rav and I
Hey,
agree.
you guys be nice to Fluttershy's descendant.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not nice
I
to
will be as
Fluttershy.
mean
Why
as I
would I be
fucking wanna be.
nice?
I mean, okay. So I'll put it to you this way: I detest Gen 5, not as badly as I hate Ponies Go. I'm in the process of writing a story designed very specifically to piss shippers off.
Aw.
Why would you do this?
Yeah,
Why?
Because
don't
it's
don't
fun.
write angry.
Oh no, I'm not writing angry. I'm laughing the whole time I'm fucking going over this thing. It's horrible, and I love it.
The way
Anyway.
that you take pleasure from people's pain.
As like I said, the purpose of a story is a story. If you're telling the story you mean to be told, then more power to you.
Yep. Priesty Pie. Next question.
Next question is: have you ever seen a ghost?
I have.
Oh shit! Story
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Tell us about ghosts.
Okay, so I was 13 or 14 years old, and we were living with my grandmother at the time. And my grandmother's house was falling apart, so the room that I'd been sleeping in was I moved to the living room, and I slept on the couch. And in the living room, what is a chalk drawing of me as a baby that my aunt got done while she was stationed in England. And I woke up in the middle of the night, rolled over, and looked at that picture, and it was looking at me. The picture was looking at me, like with real eyes, was looking at me.
Oh,
Yeah, and I just locked eyes with it, and then I heard a noise to my left, and I kind of looked away from the picture and saw the door that led to my old room start opening. And I just closed my eyes, and I had suspicions at the time that my grandfather haunted the house. But I was going to close my eyes, and I said, "Papa, I really need you to chill out right now." And the door shut, and I opened my eyes, and the picture was back to normal. And so I consider that a seeing a ghost experience.
That was seeing some sort of something spiritual, which is that
Yeah.
totally counts.
Well, and there was also the little ghost girl I saw on the beach, but that was that's got a less cool ending because I ran like a little bitch.
Oh no.
I mean, you could choose not to end it that way. But at least you're honest.
Yeah.
The next question is, what is your writing technique?
Depends on what I'm writing. For example, like I'll take the story I'm writing right now, Lawmare, because Lawmare is my first attempt at a multi-chapter fic since I killed the continuity off. I don't have with the continuity. I had a set plot. I wrote the entire plot out, with dialogue stuck in little bits, like this is where this happens and stuff like that. I had this whole thing laid out, and I've done that with other stories. With Lawmare, I know where the story's going in my head, but I don't have a layout. I'm just writing it. I'm letting the story flow through me. And with Klopp, 9 times out of 10, I'll get an idea. I'll have a sequence of events in my head, and I'll write a one sentence about this happens here, this happens here, this happens here, and I'll fill it in from that point. So it's a wide different stories require different techniques.
I think that's very accurate. Very accurate.
Yeah.
Number 5. What did you have for lunch?
I had 2 slices of Sbarro pizza.
Ooh, I haven't had Sbarro in ages.
Big fan of Sbarro.
I'm surprised they haven't gone out of business, honestly.
It's
Well,
a good mall pizza.
I was at the mall.
There
That
used
would
to
make
be a
sense.
there used to be a Sparrow in my mall, but it's now a Pizza Village.
It's like one of the few things I miss about Virginia was that I could like at the mall get pizza of all things. Not
Yeah.
pretzels, not cookies, fucking pizza.
All my
Right.
malls are dead.
Yeah, because you're in the middle of the middle.
Is that why whenever you try to get us to go visit you, the only thing you could advertise is they have a zoo?
The zoo's cool, man.
The zoo is cool.
Zoos are cool, depending on the
Good
zoo.
zoo. It's a really good zoo.
It's
But,
a very nice zoo.
Our
The
local
only
zoo
zoos
here,
I've been to are Cheyenne Mountain.
not to give my location away, but our zoo here near us is good for me nostalgically because I went there as a little boy. But as an adult, I see it's not very good, and so it's much easier just to load my kids up in the car and go to the New Orleans Zoo, which is vastly superior in every way.
No, that's fair. I mean, especially when you're driving for several days at a time, the zoo's got to be worth it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Pencil, you're up next.
Sure, absolutely. I'll read that. I just gotta say, hey priest, apparently there's like 2 Sabaros in California and one of them is in Santa Rosa. That's all I have to say. I know.
Damn, I missed the one in my area.
Okay. Questions. What story do you most regret or wish that you could fix?
Well, I deleted the guilty ones, so that problem solved.
That's sort of fixing them in a way. So I would say that counts, but
Well, it would be I wrote Grogar: A Heartwarming Horror Story back in 2015, and it was moderately popular. It shot up in popularity after Scribbler did her full cast reading. And I was like, I'm gonna write a sequel. I'm gonna ride that popularity wave. And I started writing it. Grogar screams upon a winter's night, and I had the full plot written out. Like I said, I had the whole thing done, and I just had to write the story, and it didn't work. It was very much it was a story that the concept worked like gangbusters, but in execution, it completely fell apart. And I got the first chapter done, and then I realized it wasn't going to work. And as right now, as I'm working on the next proper multi-chapter Grogar story, I'm being very careful to make sure that doesn't happen again. This new Grogar story is my attempt to rectify the original version of Grogar 2, which is still
no
up.
repeating your mistakes or anything.
Right. Yeah. The Screams Upon a Winter's Night is still up, and I've left it up specifically as an example of what happens when the writer's hubris gets too big.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
It would have been
yeah.
so good too.
Well, that actually sort of answers one of my next question, which is, what are your biggest writing bad habits? I know one of them is.
Well, I get too ahead of myself.
I was going to say
Asterisks. Yeah, they are. They're my crutch, man. They straight up my thing. Like They're my input for dramatic pauses, and I love my dramatic pauses. Dialogue is my strongest suit in writing, and so if I want to get a dramatic pause in there, it's asterisks. Uh, but yeah, my my other biggest in terms of plotting, uh, and stuff like that, my biggest weakness is going too big. There was the continuity wouldn't have died if I hadn't insisted on ending it with a big multi-chapter trilogy of stories. A trilogy of stories, all of them being big multi-chapter affairs. If I had just kept it at 2, I would have finished it. But I got too big for my britches, and so that's my biggest flaw. Also, how Night and Day came into being. That was supposed to be I was like, my first incest story. I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna do this big Back to the Future parody, and it was too big. Go back and get.
Just buy bigger britches. I don't see what the problem is.
They're already
Fucking
they're
Christ.
already too big. I need
Your
smaller
Calvin
britches.
Kleins don't fit.
Okie dokie. Now it's time for sexy questions. So,
Oh Christ!
what would you
No.
whisper? Oh, what?
No, go ahead. Sorry, I was choked on my grape slush. Go ahead.
Excellent. What would you whisper into a vagina?
Trying to contact you about your car's extended warranty.
What would it whisper back?
You have the wrong number.
Probably true. Bees? That's the question.
No, thank you.
All right. What is the biggest animal you think you could beat in a fight? Defend your answer.
Oh Jesus. One of my biggest fears is anything bigger than me. Uh, like it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a tree. It could be a dog. Anything bigger than me scares the hell out of me.
So what's the biggest animal you think you could beat in a fight?
I think I could beat in a fight. A 5'10" bear.
You would die. You would be so dead. Like I don't know how you defend this answer. Like this bear would make you the deadest thing ever.
Well, let me a 5'10" black bear, because black
This
bears
bear
are
would
naturally
kill
sheepish.
you.
But
Unless you have food. I have experience up close and personal with black bears. If you have food and they've gotten used to humanity, they will end you for food. They will.
Gee,
They're
and
assholes.
if you didn't want to know the answer to the question, why did you ask it?
Well, I said you have to defend it now. That's part of the question.
I don't. From my experience where I'm at, black bears are sheepish and will run away, and I think I've got a good chance of running up behind it and choking it out.
Oh my god. I mean, I fundamentally
You're funny.
disagree, but you do you, buddy.
If you film that, you'll get a good amount of money on the black market. Just saying.
Right?
I mean, if I've reached that point where it's like I'm gonna die or I'm gonna choke out this bear, and that's where it's gonna go.
I mean, to be, PSA for everyone: if you are in an actual fight with a bear, first of all, put something between you and the bear, be it a tree, a bicycle, a backpack, literally anything. And if you
Or
actually
your
have
friend.
or your friend, if you have to fist fight the bear, you should aim specifically for the nose. It's the most sensitive part of a bear.
Choke out the bear.
I mean, that's kind of true with any animal. Their noses are extremely sensitive and vulnerable.
With the bear, it's the only place that's really sensitive. And I say this
True.
because genuinely, a family friend was mauled by a bear.
Ooh, yikes.
Are they okay?
Well, no. I love. Shout out to my friend Huckabee. He is missing most of one side of the back of his leg muscles.
Oof.
He did not properly apply the rear naked choke to the bear.
Huckabee said that one.
He tried to put it in a scissor lock.
Oh, it just did not go well.
Put the bear in the sharpshooter.
Okay, please, for one of our viewers in particular, could you talk dirty, call us daddy, and make airplane noises? Just for a moment.
I cannot. and,
Oh.
and let me explain why I cannot, because I am not in an enclosed space.
Oh, that's a good reason.
Two of my dearest friends are in the next room with my 4-year-old son. So
Then
I
we will settle for a quick airplane noise.
meow.
That'll do. Thank you.
All right, now someone edit him saying "daddy" at the end there in post.
Look, that was part of it. Excellent. Thank you very much. Would you a thing pony?
Would I a what?
Would you a thing pony? This.
I don't.
This.
No.
Look at it. Look at it.
I
Look at his bedroom eyes. Look at his bedroom eyes.
I can't. Am I supposed to be looking at a picture because I'm still looking at a computer lock screen?
Oh shit.
Imagine a pony made out of Sparrow.
I can like try to.
Oh, then no.
No, that's not. I said thing pony, not pizza pony. What are you talking about?
Well, I would not.
Okay.
I did make love to a couch once.
There, I helped.
I can't. I'm looking at a lock screen and I can't see anything.
It's John Carpenter's The Thing as a pony.
Oh.
Yeah.
This has changed everything.
Something has awakened.
No, the answer is still no.
That's fair.
But happy 40th anniversary to The Thing.
Precisely. All right. Now I'm gonna get some personal questions that I actually want answers to, based on your opinion. We'll try to keep it short as we're running low on time.
Okay.
Which AMV hell is best AMV hell? I have opinions. I would like to know yours.
Oh, sure. AMV Hell 3, the motion picture.
Agreed wholeheartedly. I've been wanting to show it to these guys just in case they haven't seen it. Do you think it still holds up?
100%.
Okay, I've watched it since. And I'm like, I think these kids are too young to have seen a lot of these anime. But
it doesn't matter. It's timeless. It's like the if you've enjoyed Ponies the Anthology, like that all comes from AMV Hell.
And the greatest AMV moment, and I'm not going to sing the song. I'm not going to say what it's from. I'm just going to say a certain song that starts "and I" is probably one of the greatest AMV moments in the history of anything.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like small. I know short on time, but whenever I graduated high school, I joined the Air Force. I came home for Christmas break and attended an anime con. And it was my first time seeing a lot of my high school anime club buddies. And we watched the first 4 AMV Hells that night. And sitting in that room with all of them singing along to the end credits of AMV Hell 4 is one of my most treasured memories.
Aww. I cackle a little with the AMV Hell. Like, love those to death. Question: who in the Barcast right here, right now, has actually seen any of the AMV Hells?
Me.
You've seen all of you've seen which ones, Priest?
Most of them, at very least 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
0 divided by 0.
Well, divided by 0, we cannot watch on Twitch. Just to put it that way.
You can't watch 0 either.
I mean, you're right, but
I might have seen 0, but I don't remember, and I feel
it's
like
the porn
that means I
one.
haven't. Nope, I definitely haven't seen it.
Okay.
Divided by 0 is my favorite intro of any video
it's the
ever.
dark porn one. Sorry.
When you see your mother, make sure you tell her, Satan, Satan.
Well, I can definitely say I might have, because I used to watch a shitload of random videos on YouTube, and I used to go searching for AMVs back before Pony was a thing. So it's entirely possible I have.
This is way pre-Pony, but yeah.
Yeah, I know.
All right. I'm going to judge you a little bit. What starship captain is objectively best captain of a starship?
Kirk.
Kirk.
That's a take. Why
Kirk.
so?
Because first and foremost, Kirk hasn't had his legacy tarnished by an abysmal Paramount Plus series.
Saying just if these are real people in a real world, not like just the movies.
Oh, then it's still Kirk. Because Kirk had the courage. Kirk had the knowledge of how things worked, and he had the heart. He genuinely cared about his crew.
Heart? You mean the heart on? He banged like 5 different alien species in the first season alone.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Every single time a member of the Enterprise's crew died, Kirk was right there to shed a tear for them. He cared about every single member of his crew. Picard did not.
Picard did. Picard got sad as fuck when people died.
That was literally Picard's whole arc, was that he didn't care.
Except for Latasha Yar, because who cares about Latasha Yar? Anyway. Like, there's no protest to that. I'm proud of you. Fair enough. I'm surprised, since you were a fan of DS9, that you didn't say Sisko, but I appreciate you for not saying Sisko.
I don't consider Sisko a starship captain.
I mean, he does become one.
During
the wars, and I don't think he's a particularly good starship captain during the war. So.
No, he commanded the hell out of Deep Space Nine, but yeah.
True, but God, he shouldn't have been bringing the prophets into that. Like, please stop being a religious figurehead and trying to run a space station.
Anon, I just finished my DS9 rewatch like 3 weeks ago. Please don't make me do it again.
I'm so sorry. I'm quite fond of it as well. Next Gen is probably my favorite, though, because Worf in Next Gen is hilarious. Now we're moving on to questions from
Enigmatic Otaku.
Right. So my question was right. So this relates to an important conversation we were having before everyone popped in here. You know, a conversation that some people have to have in their lives at some point. You know, it's very thought provoking, and that is, which side of your peener do you tan first?
Wow, we really circled all the way back on this. Then
we did it, yeah.
He never lets a joke down.
The left side.
Why the left?
Because it hooks to the left.
You know, that's what I say when people ask me, "Oh, hey, how's it hanging?" And I always say a little bit to the left.
Hey, Priest, you get to read questions again.
Yeah, I'm back. All right, the Gandhi Man is up next. Number 1, what is your favorite fantasy animal, MLP or otherwise?
Oh, unicorns. Like
unicorns.
Even before MLP, unicorns.
But dragons.
No, unicorns. Yeah, it goes back. One of my favorite movies growing up was The Last Unicorn. It's still one of my favorite movies. So yeah, look, unicorns are the coolest.
Hey Jade Ring. I got to hang out with Peter S. Beagle.
Oh, jealous.
He's a wonderful, sweet man, and I cried, and it was embarrassing.
Jealous. Yeah, unicorns. Unicorns, 100%.
If you could improve something you were bad at, but then had to be bad at something you were good at, what 2 things would you choose for these?
Oh fuck.
Question. I like that.
I guess I would choose to be better at time management.
That's fair.
And I would be to trade that off. I would be worse at consuming shrimp because I can devour shrimp at an alarming rate, and I would sacrifice that for better time management skills.
I'd like to be better at not getting sick and be worse at vomiting acid.
I like those.
Are you a xenomorph?
A little bit.
Xenomorph, warrior princess.
Yes, me.
How did that crossover never happen?
Hold on. I got this. You can continue. I'm just gonna do a thing. Hold on.
So would Hercules in the Xenomorph universe be the Predator?
Hold on. I actually knew where to find this. I'm this quick. And I'm not gonna be able to show it to our lovely Jade Ring, I don't think. But bros, countrymen, lend me your ears.
Oh my god, that's it. That's 100% it. That's Xenomorph Warrior Princess.
It even says it.
Hang on. Boss, can you unlock your computer, please, so I can see this picture?
Boss! This is how we're also getting him to see Thing Pony.
There you go. Are we just gonna hear like an IT discussion?
No, she's my best friend. I call her boss because we're in a haunted house company together, and she runs the whole show. And
Wonderful.
That's amazing.
hang on, let me get through all the gross food shit.
You can see Thing Pony, and you can see Thing Pony.
There's the Thing Pony, and the answer is still no. It's amazing.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's great.
I knew exactly where it was. Just like, hold on, I can help.
I love it.
Oh my god. Okay. The next question is, did you know that it was me, Barry?
I went back in time and jacked you off.
Did Flam write this?
If Flam was here, he'd have to read it.
Oh man, Lily Kuzlin is up next. Who asks, "What do you listen to music when you're writing, and if so, what kind?"
Oh, that's actually an excellent question. Again, it goes back entirely to what I'm writing. If I'm just writing in general, I listen to piano music. Piano music helps me to focus, and it's not complicated enough that it distracts me. And then if I'm writing horror, I specifically pull up the works of John Carpenter, specifically Lost Themes 1 and 2, those albums.
Ooh.
And yeah, absolutely, because John Carpenter is like my Mount Rushmore of storytelling is Spielberg, King, Lovecraft, Carpenter, and so that's listening to Carpenter music. It gets me in the spooky mood.
I like it. Number 2, what piece of technology would you introduce to the My Little Ponyverse cybernetics aircraft, or what existing one would you make more widespread, like trains or airships?
Oh man, I'm running into this problem right now with Lawmare because it's my take on having the gunslinger and the Dark Tower stuff in there, and of course horses can't use guns. So I would love to find some way of having guns in there just for story purposes. It would make writing westerns in Equestria so much easier.
When you said technology, the first thought that came to mind was you introduced them to those Boston Mechanic robots that pee in cups.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, Pencil's gonna get him.
I know what he's talking about. I know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah, okay, you know those Boston robotic robots, those that they look like dogs and they deliver those.
So what he's referencing is that this company called Boston Dynamics makes a robot dog that walks around, and this YouTube mechanic, MacGyver engineer bullshit guy saved up money, bought one, and then modified it so that it would pee beer. And he loads it up, and people, as they put their cups on the floor, this dog would go over to it, squat over it, and then just piss out a cup of beer.
Yep.
Okay, but why though?
Oh, okay, Michael Reeves.
That guy, yes, Michael Reeves.
Yes,
I knew it was a
he's
Michael
great.
something, but I didn't want to say it.
Michael Reeves and his hashtag relationship goals with Lily Pichu. And Pencil's going to be actually upset that we're talking about this without her.
Yeah, she was the one who showed me that video.
Dog, I half expect this to happen to the Sweetie Bot.
Oh, that exists already. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
So that's a fandom classic that needs. I would love to come back in some form or fashion. I love
They're
Sweetie
making
Bot.
a legit Sweetie Bot. I've seen the shell for it. It's fucking cool.
I've seen it also. Yeah, there's a guy who brings it to cons.
Yeah, we saw it at the cons.
There are 3 versions of it that they've got. They've got the one that's just circuit boards and fucking motors. Then they've got the other one that's the shell. And then they've got some another one that's like It's not even a mix between. It's more like a first draft that they just keep on the shelf.
Oh, you
If
did. Go ahead.
if Sweetie Belle were to die, would they turn her body into a drone like they did that one person did with the cat's body?
Oh my god.
Hey, to go back to an earlier question, as like, what question did you not get asked? Like, I really like thinking back. Is like, who's better, Sweetie Bot or Thrakkersod?
Oh shit! Crackers on.
The head is
need-
backwards.
I just want to brush my normal pony teeth.
I maintain that the Legends of the Hidden Temple breakdown in the Rainbow Factory episode is one of the greatest things that the fandom has ever delivered to me.
It's so good. It's exceptionally good. Oh man.
Pass the temple guard to the tomb of the silver monkey.
Oh my god.
And she goes through that. She goes through
I
that
don't know
twice.
All right, the next question. If you could sit down to dinner with any one character, who would it be and why?
The dinner with the character?
Yes.
Man.
Any character. It
Any
doesn't have to be
character.
MLP, I think.
Any character. Huh. That's a broad question. Indiana Jones.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be a fun conversation.
He just starts eyeing the steak and like rubbing his chin while looking at it.
He swaps out his steak with a baked potato with one hand.
Weighs it for a second.
Oh god, now I'm thinking of like elderly dementia-addled Indiana Jones. Like,
Oh, that's terrible, but also
that's
hilarious.
sad. I love it.
The boulder chasing him is the medical staff.
it's a medical cart chasing him down the. Oh no, guys,
Indiana Jones headcanon. It was all just in his head, and he's an old senile man remembering his glory days.
Guys, we're ruining the new Indiana Jones movie for ourselves before it comes out.
But when does Shia LaBeouf come?
Shia LaBeouf.
We don't talk about that man thing.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull didn't happen.
The cannibal, the animal, Shia LaBeouf. All right,
And
number 4. If a portal opened up underneath you and dropped you into the middle of Pony World, would you rather stay human or change to suit the setting? And if you did, what creature would you rather be?
I would rather. I can change. I don't have to be a horse.
You do. You
have to.
I mean,
you have to suit the setting.
Oh, because I want my hands.
Be a monkey.
Yeah, but I want magic too.
You could
Damn.
be that gay serpent.
Changeling. I'd be a changeling.
There you go.
Yeah.
I kind of love it. I really love it actually.
Yeah, I'd be a changeling, 100%.
Skittle or black licorice.
Oh, neither. They're both disgusting.
I mean, you have to choose to be one of them as your base form, buddy.
I love that you just like objectively talked about the candy and not the style of changelings.
Oh.
You didn't get it. You didn't get it. He literally meant, do you want to be emo deer or Pride Month deer?
Oh no! I 100%. The original, the black licorice.
Emo deer. Got it.
Okay,
that's a major plot point in the villain series of stories. Is that Chrysalis is reformed now and she hates her new form.
So you'd rather be an anorexic bug than a full and non-holy one.
And
yes.
I'd be a hideous color blot.
Color blot.
I would rather be a stone black color full of holes than be a Technicolor puke stain on somebody's watercolor board.
Yep.
Were the original ones more aerodynamic because of the holes?
Absolutely not. Let me fucking tell you no.
They whistle when they fly.
Let's go back. Let's go back to the Peepa Toad.
We don't talk about the fucking Peepa Toad because then I have to explain the Peepa Toad to people.
That's fair.
What's the Peepa Peepa Toad? I
So
don't
I
know
sure
this.
as fuck don't want to. Oh, you know exactly what it is.
I
Does our
sort of
guest-
do. I just
does-
don't remember
Does
entirely
our
what it
guest
is.
know what the Peepa Peepa Toad is?
That's a
Yes.
que-
Oh, I wasn't sure if this was like a question I was being asked or if
No,
you
I
guys were
said, does our
having your.
guest know what the Peepa Peepa Toad is?
I do not know what a Peepa Peepa Toad is. No.
It's a type of mostly aquatic toad that it gets its eggs laid in its back under its skin into
Oh, yeah,
baby
yeah, I've
frogs,
seen. Yeah,
and
I've seen those.
then they burst out of
Oh.
holes in their back.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh,
It's
I
fun,
didn't know it was
but
called
it
that.
really freaks people out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Like
It's-
it
You say that's
really
cool,
fucks
but that's
people.
how I figured out I have trypophobia.
Oh,
Accurate. That is what
Yeah.
happens.
If a per-
I
if
thought it was
so,
called a Cernan Toad, though.
It is. Also,
So
Oh, okay.
it's got many names.
if a predator were to eat the Peepa Toad, then it would have I don't know,
No,
a
I
nice
will hurt you.
it would have a nice baby filling.
the all new Peepa Pizza Toad.
Speaking of those,
have-
hey Priest, what's our next question? It's so perfect.
Our last question before we go to the obnoxious one, love you, Mugany, is what is your favorite meal?
Like meal or food?
Yes.
Because there's a difference.
Meal. It says meal.
A meal is a good sized steak cooked medium rare, a baked potato with sour cream, butter, and cheese, and a small serving on the side of nice roasted asparagus
I like it.
America. Fuck
with a
yeah.
tall glass of milk to drink.
Milk, not
Yeah.
like wine or beer.
I
Like a raw ice water,
I don't drink.
but milk.
Yeah, milk pairs with steak wonderfully. I got that from my grandfather.
Okay.
Yes, I like some freshly squeezed live cow juice.
And now then, the final question is from Mugany. Pencil, you volunteered.
I do. Let me have a sip of water or smoothie, as the case may be. Are you ready for this question?
You've been building it up, so I'm kind of worried now.
Yep. For a reason. Here we go. I've been instructed to read this in a voice that I am going to choose for obvious reasons.
Hello, Senpai. I'm on my period and currently dripping more tomato sauce than grilled cheese sandwich. And speaking of grilled cheese, I'm ready for you to spread my legs apart and eat me out. What that? Oh, you know, hungry? What if I sucky wucky your teeny peeny? No? What if I pushed your head between my thighs like a watermelon and I allow you to do vicious things to my innards? As you feel my warm legs wrap around your neck? No? Do you like cave story? Well, my cave has a story and is waiting for you to explore it. I'm ready to crush your neck between my legs so hard that it leaves you paralyzed for life. I shoved an entire spaghetti dinner up there just for you, and it's ready to be slurped out. Senpai, why aren't you responding? Was there something I said? Senpai? So what if I have a yeast infection? It's been fermenting for months just for you. Just pretend you're drinking cherry wine. I enriched cherry wine. Will you or will you not eat me out, Wolf?
No.
I hate this.
Oh, there's somebody's new. That's somebody's new telephone ring. There you go.
Someone is going to 100% clip that on Twitch, and I hate it. I hate everything.
I feel like C Lab 2021. There's an episode that ends with and the doctor is like, "Is this really how we're ending this?"
Bizarro.
Bizarro. Ah, man, that's my 100% hands down my favorite adult cartoon of all time.
Yeah,
C Lab.
I was recently rewatching that.
Now that we're beyond the time frame.
Oh my god. Okay, well, that's all. That's our last question.
Yep, that's it.
And we're winding down on time. So with that in mind, Jade, what are the cool things you got coming up in the hopper?
Well, I'm working on Lawmare right now, and if and no one's read that yet or started reading that, it's an alternate Equestria where uh, things are still kind of crazy following Nightmare Moon's fall, and so Celestia has empowered a group of unicorns as lawmares to enforce justice, and it's an alternate take on the start of the series, mixing up that with elements of the Dark Tower cycle. I'm very excited about it. People seem to be responding well to it. Uh, I have my Summer Sin entry, which should be finished and up in the next 2 days. I can't say anything about that because it might spoil who it's written for. I have the next chapter of Scenes from a Life Post Villainy, which I know people will be happy to hear is almost done. It's We Need to Talk About Cozy, which is about Chrysalis having a parent teacher conference about Cozy Glow.
Oh my god!
Oh, that'd be fun.
And that's what I got right. Oh, and Grogar 3 coming in December, and the big plan for Halloween and Anon to prove that you didn't chase me away from horror
Okay.
is I wrote a story a few years back called "Girl Walks Home Alone at Midnight," which Scribbler did a reading of. Which explained why there was only one sunset shimmer in the Equestria Girls world and not another one. And I had an idea for that would combine a sequel for that with my love of 90s slasher movies like Valentine and I Know What You Did Last Summer and stuff like that. And that is coming this October, and it's an Equestria Girls slasher and with a mystery element. And it's working
Nice.
title is The Cuckoo's Lament.
Hmm.
Hey Jade, speaking of titles, what did you call that first story again?
Lawmare. Like
You
lawman,
know,
but lawmare.
yeah. No, I had a thought while you were describing it. I'm like, he should rename this to "No One Expects the Solar Inquisition."
Well, they're actually they're called the Agents of Harmony, but their popular term among the populace is lawmare. And
Okay.
yeah, so it's gonna be good. I'm really excited
Hmm.
for how that one. Hopefully, I can finish it and I don't get too overwhelmed and drop it halfway, or pull it, as I like to call it, pulling a sleepless brony.
It's easy to do. It's easy to do.
And that's not talking smack. You guys told me don't talk smack about. I love
Yeah.
Sleepless. I love Sleepless. Sleepless is one of the reasons I started writing. And last year, it wasn't last year, it was the year before. Sleepless actually reached out to me because I mentioned him in a blog, and I was like, "Oh my god, you're alive! How did this story end?" And he said he was gonna dig up the story notes and tell me how Equestria University was gonna end, but then he apparently lost them. So
Oh,
but that was one of those moments.
uh,
Like Sleepless Brony has responded to your comment. It's like, no fucking way.
maybe that's what I should do for my unfinished big fanfic. Is just post all the story notes and be done with it.
That's what I did for the continuity.
No.
When
No, you gotta
yeah.
finish it
I
first.
I don't recommend it. I've seen people do that, and I've seen their fan base absolutely explode at them.
Yeah. I think it's better to do that than just to leave a story untold. Like one of the first fanfics I read for the fandom was Total War Equestria. That story is amazing, and the author just stopped like at the end of the second act and never came back. And so we have no idea how that story was supposed to go. That
Well,
story's still amazing.
yeah. Well, with that in mind, we are out of time. Jade, thank you for taking the time out of your day to talk with us.
Well, thanks for having me on. This was a blast. Anytime you want to ask me on, I'll make some time. This was fun. This was a lot of fun.
We will absolutely remember this. Milk, what are we doing next week?
Well, first of all, follow our guest, follow our guest, follow our guest. Anyway.
Do what? Oh, what's what?
I
What
said
are we
follow
doing
our
next
guest.
week?
Oh, I don't know what we're doing
Already
this week.
did.
Don't ask me.
What are we doing next week? You actually said you had plans for like when Barcast was going to be next
Yeah,
week.
but like the meme is that I always never know what we're actually doing. But I actually have a guest already set up for next Saturday, so like we're already set to go.
So who are we
Hi.
seeing next Saturday?
Um,
Remember to push to talk.
I am pushing to talk. I'm legitimately
Okay.
forgetting what the name is. Hold on. I have trouble pronouncing it. Oh, it's Semyon. There it is. I had to find the pronunciation for it.
Wonderful.
Oh, I recognize that name.
Yes, I call him Semillion, and it's not how it's pronounced.
Oh. All right. Well, with that in mind, did we have any good bit donators today, Pencil?
We did. Burgess donated 100 bits. Thank you so much. Apparently, it was because
Aw.
of the horrifying thing I read out loud. So
Oh,
happy to do it.
great. Great. Well, with that in mind, thank you everyone for watching this edition. Your bartenders for this evening have been Anon Pencil,
Taco Bell, I'm coming for you.
Enigmatic Otaku,
I forgot about the cheese at Taco Bell.
Milk,
Please eat one for me.
Ravage,
Enigma's getting pranked in his sleep.
our amazing guest, Jade Ring.
Been a pleasure. Read The Wicker Mare.
And I'm going to go read The Wicker
I
Mare,
have added it to my read later.
like right now.
I
Probably.
don't have that kind of
I also
time.
have a Harley Quinn book to read, like right here.
Anyway, bye. Have a good day.
Bye.